Okay, yeah. So.
Okay, there you have Franklin Tucker taking the stand. He is testifying on his case, and of course, he's representing himself pro se. So the form of the testimony seems to be just a stream of consciousness, giving information out there. You heard an objection right when we were leaving the courtroom there, but pretty much he's been unencumbered and just giving his statement to the court, to the jurors. Let's break some of this down. I have Afi Patterson. She is a trial attorney, and also Dina Sayeghdal, who is in studio here in New York with me. She's normally out there in LA. She left the warm climates of LA for frigid New York to be in the studio. Dina, I want to start with you. Okay, so you have Tucker on the stand. He's pro se. He's testifying. What do you think of this format in the manner he's testifying? And do you think that it's going to resonate with the jury?
First of all, it is so fun to be in the studio. Wish I could do it all the time. And this is so fascinating because he's fairly coherent, right? Usually somebody representing themselves. I mean, we just saw the Darrell Brooks student not that long ago. It was a complete chaos. This is not that. And it is much more of like a story than you would hear, with a question and answer. And in some ways, it's almost refreshing to just hear it as a story. Whether or not the jury will check out, right? A lawyer can sometimes kind of point to the jury even that this next question may be important because of such reason, the way they ask the question. But I think the thing that helps them the most is, like, a lawyer always is the representation of the client, right? Like, the more credible a lawyer seems to a jury, it helps reflect to the defendant or client, because they may never hear that defense talk any other time. So he's had the ability to talk to the jury all this time, and now he's on the stand talking. And he's very consistent in the way he's done it all. The tone of his voice, the pattern of his talking. To me, that makes it seem like he's being honest when he's testifying. I think that is maybe the biggest benefit. So far, we haven't heard him say anything that's, helping necessarily in terms of the evidence, but that kind of credibility that, like, this is him. Otherwise the jury doesn't have anything to kind of judge that frame of reference when somebody's on the stand. And the fact that he's been like that all along might actually lead them to trust what he's saying.
No.
Okay, so there is the pro se defendant. He's representing himself in court, getting chided by the judge. And when you have a pro se defendant like that, typically a non-attorney representing themselves, things like that happen in court. But let's break it down with my legal panel right now. In the studio with me right now, I have Dina Sayeghdal. She is a trial consultant and attorney. And of course, with me still is trial attorney Afi Patterson. Dina, I want to go to you first. Now, we look at this accusation and we see that there was no foul play ever reported against Judge Mark Jones. Now, is this a MP accusation by Tucker in a last-ditch effort to somehow sway the public opinion, sway opinion against him, and clear his name?
I think so. The accusations being a dirty judge. I mean, there's no detail in there that he's happened to find out that would show some sort of conflict of interest or anything. It's not that far-fetched. We're hearing these kind of accusations, with the president involving his judges, and it seems like he's kind of just trying to take that playbook, and there's not anything really involving the judge. But it's the worst thing to do. As a lawyer, the last thing you want to do is, like, insult the judge on your case with unsubstantiated accusations. No. It's really rare to get a judge to recuse themselves. And so this judge is not going to. He's going to stay on that trial, and he's going to remember all these things that they said about him. This is definitely a poor move on his part.
Right, Dina, I was going to say, I mean, it's pretty hard to get a judge to recuse themselves, and even have, let's just say, if you take it out and you have another individual, third party make that decision, often judges are not recused unless there's really a direct conflict or some sort of, misconduct. And I think that if you're going pro se and you're doing that before the judge, you're going to have a tough time going forward in front of this particular judge. Yeah. You make a great point, Afi. Now, when you have a pro se defendant, especially when things sort sort of go off rail. Often a judge will appoint an attorney to somewhat observe and guide that pro se defendant so the trial remains on track. But now Tucker had no evidence or witnesses to put on today in court, and they went right into the state's rebuttal case. What do you think of surviving victim Paula Belmonte being his only witness? Did he get his alleged innocent across? Dina, what do you think about what happened in court?
Yeah, I don't think it was helpful at all to him. It seemed like the witness definitely hurt his case more than helped.